Hello everyone, welcome to a new video. Today I'm going to do another group reading, and in this case is going to be for IVE, since they have announced that they will have a comeback in early April. I was like, it is time to start with the group and individual readings to be introduced into this channel. I of course know that the group debuted back in December, and I was like, you know what, I enjoy their song, I will like to be a fan of the group. But I told myself that before I added it to the channel, I will wait for a comeback so that you guys could be very hyped and excited, and then you can have these readings be around the same time that the comeback comes out. And because of that, I will just start now since it's going to be pretty soon. And yeah, because of how I am, I go slow and steady with my videos, as you will see pretty soon. Anyway, so in this group reading, we're going to be answering 3 different questions, and let's just jump into it. So the first question that I'm going to ask is going to be, what is the current energy for the group, or what situation they're currently in? So how is IVE doing right now? Oh, we have the 2 of Wands and the Ace of Swords. Oh, those cards are pretty good. So the 2 of Wands talks about probabilities, potential. This is a card that talks about looking into the future. The 2 of Wands is staying within your comfort zone, but still looking out and thinking of how to take action towards a prosperous future. If you look right here, the guy is looking into the horizon, almost thinking, okay, what is ahead? Thinking what else can be made or created. And in this case, I feel that currently the group has a lot of potential. They're pretty new, they have barely debuted, they're barely on their first comeback, so it makes sense that right now there's still a lot of potential, a lot of excitement. A lot of them, are probably thinking of how they would like to continue, take action, and move forward with life. They had a very successful debut, so I'm not surprised that they're really looking forward to what else can they bring to the table with this new comeback that is coming pretty soon. So currently they're in that energy. We also have the Ace of Wands. So these 2 cards are about a big, they're barely starting something, right? We have Ace, which is number 1, and then 2 with the 2 of Wands, of course, right? So it's like action-wise, they're still thinking about how they're going to do things. And thought-wise or speech-wise, they are barely getting information, right? So to me, this feels like many of them are barely finding their footing, or barely figuring out how to speak, how to think, in terms of their career. Like, how can things be said in an eloquent fashion, or how can I communicate my thoughts in a way that everyone will understand, or stuff like that, right? So I do feel that many of them are really getting that inspiration. The Ace of Swords also talks about being, getting the inspiration and the ideas that are running wild before taking action, right? And I'm saying before taking action because they have the 2 of Wands right next to it, which is very similar. Wands is all about moving forward and taking action. Wands is the fire element, right? But in this 2 of Wands, it's still like the early stages, right? Like when people are still thinking of what to do. In Swords, in tarot, it's an air element, and it's all about your ideas, your thoughts, how you communicate, how you think, your speech, and all of those things, right? So in this case, both of these cards are pretty similar. It feels like there are a lot of transformations. To me, swans talk about transformation. Also, there's butterflies, which also symbolizes a form of transformation. You have a little caterpillar that goes into its cocoon, and then it flourishes into this beautiful butterfly. So it definitely feels like right now they're in the energy where there's a lot of potential, a lot of opportunities, a lot of explored territory, I guess you could call it that way, right? There's still a lot of things that they can do, and a lot of things that they can improve on, and I feel that they're very excited about potentials and about the unknown and all of those things. So I kind of want to take more cards out. So for IVE's career, anything else that's going on? So we have the 6 of Swords, the 4 of Swords, and the 5 of Pentacles reversed. So these cards are actually very good. I'm glad that they're in this good energy. So the 6 of Swords, again, Swords talks about, their mental activity right now, right? And the 6 of Swords is the imagery of going away from, maybe someone that is in a very rough period, and they're slowly walking away from that, and they're trying to reach calm waters. Or in this case, it will be like whatever's stressing them out, they're slowly trying to put that behind them and start thinking more in a positive way, try to be relaxed, trying to be calm, try to walk away from situations that are bothering them and making them feel overwhelmed and stressed. And this is supported by the Four of Swords, which the Four of Swords talks about resting, relaxation, being calm, maybe taking a nap, or having a very peaceful mind in this sense. So these two cards together definitely feel like they're currently in their career. I'm sure they're working, right? But with this sword energy, it feels like they're all trying to stay pretty zen, trying to stay very calm and relaxed, and trying to make sure that their mind is not anxious and in overdrive. They're trying to stay very peaceful in order to have a very successful career, it feels. So I definitely feel this very calm energy, and I'm very happy for them, actually, that they're very calm, and it seems like they're doing well, so I'm proud for them in that sense. And the last card that we have right here is the Five of Pentacles reversed, which is actually very good that it's reversed. So the Five of Pentacles upright usually talks about someone that feels left out in the cold, someone that feels abandoned, and Pentacles talks about I guess material needs, money, career, health. So in this case, it's kind of like they may have felt like they were left out in the cold. But this Five of Pentacles reverse kind of shows that even if they may have felt that way, they know that they're not alone. They know that they're being supported. They know that they have how do you call it, people that have their back and they're waiting for them and taking care of them and making sure they have everything they need. So I do feel that they may feel, I feel two things, right? The group feels very supported by their fandom, but they also feel very supported by the company itself. And that's why I felt very happy when I saw this card. So all I'm saying is that it feels like career-wise, they're trying to stay very calm, trying to stay very positive, very happy, and they feel supported. They feel like people have their back. They feel like they can do anything in the world because they're not doing it alone. Those kind of vibes. But with that said, let's go on to the next question, which is, what is going to happen to IVE's career in 2022? We have the Koala Spirit. Spirit has the plan, number 35. So number 35, if you add it up, it will be, 3 plus 5 is 8, and 8 talks about infinite possibilities. And with the Koala Spirit, it definitely feels like the universe is like holding on to them, taking care of them. It feels like life and destiny has a lot of abundance planned for them, or something along those lines. This little bell right here feels like there's like a wake-up call. So I feel that as long as the group is doing what they feel called to do, or as long as they are following whatever they feel comfortable with doing, I think they're all on the right path to continue being successful and continuing to have a lot of abundance in 2022. Also, I wanted to point out that these feathers and like this symbol right here made me think of like the dream catcher that I have in my room, and it made me think that they're being protected. So this Five of Pentacles reversed kind of already emphasizes that the group's career is being taken care of. Destiny has their back, the world has their back. I'm iterating with that, but I'm just saying that the people that are there to help them are definitely there to help them. The people that are there to help them network are definitely there to help them succeed. People have their best interest in mind. That's kind of where I'm getting at, and because of that, I feel that the group knows that they're not alone, and that will definitely help them continuing to feel like they're being supported in all ways, shapes, or forms. So not only is there physically people that are out there to help them, but there's also like Spirit has a plan for them to succeed, most likely, because the Koala Spirit makes me think of good things. It makes me think of being taken care of. I do feel that it might be slow and steady sometimes, so not necessarily their abundance, but like I do feel that Spirit may have like a plan that has like a long way to go. So there's still stuff that is going to, I feel that there's stuff still in the works for them. So whatever successes we have seen for them, I think there's still more ahead. I do have to say that that doesn't mean that there's no hardships ahead. It just means that all of that, hardships, rewards, blessings, abundance, all of that is necessary for the growth of the group as a group and as individuals. Now I'm going to take out one card for each member. So we see how they feel right now with their career and how they're going to feel for 2022. I can clearly tell them apart, but I don't know how to just say their names, so I have it right next to me in case I say any of them wrong. Please forgive me. And with that, I will start with their leader, Jujin. So of course, I know who Jujin is. I knew about her before she even went into Produce 48, actually. Because she was in that Gatorade ad that A-Lee and Mad Clown sang together. I really enjoyed that video. And that song too. Anyway, so for 2022, we have the hummingbird and we have the black egg. So the hummingbird is an air element and the black egg is a spirit element, which symbolizes, in this case, the throat chakra. So the hummingbird is so now that I think about it, these two cards kind of fit each other very well. So for Jujin in 2022, there's this sense of learning to speak up for herself, or learning how to effectively communicate, or learning how to express her ideas in a way that she feels comfortable with. It feels like she's slowly like hatching out of this egg. There's a lot of purple surrounding the egg, and also there may be a lot of darkness, which could be a lot of unknowns, a lot of mystery, a lot of confusion, but the egg itself is surrounded by this like light. So it makes me think that for 2022, there might be times that Jujin doesn't even know what to expect. Maybe she feels trapped in her environment once in a while, but this light that is in the hummingbird and also surrounding the black egg kind of tells me that life is protecting her and making sure she's okay. It feels like she will be the, if it's not like an external source bringing light to her so she can see her immediate surroundings, then she herself will be emitting off this light that many people will find very attracting, but also this light is going to be one that will guide her into her own path and do what she has to do. Also with a hummingbird, it makes me think of someone that, you know, all birds make me think of someone that has a very beautiful voice. So her voice could be very pleasant, or when she sings, it could be very pleasant. Also the hummingbird to me, at least right now, it feels kind of like a rebel, because the hummingbird can fly in all directions, right? I don't know if it's the only bird, but I know it's one of those birds that they can fly up and down, backwards and forwards, and it's a very fast moving bird. At least the wings move very quickly, and it has all the colors of the rainbow, so that means that she will be very, very aligned and very centered within herself for 2022. And I think that's what allowed her to be able to move forward despite being in a new environment, or being in a situation that can be very confusing. She is very good at creating this light and being able to just, I guess in a way, work it out. So the way that I'm seeing this is that if there's ever an issue, Jujin will be very good at just figuring out how to solve it or how to avoid conflict right away. So that's actually very good. Now let's go on to the next person, which is actually the oldest in the group, which is Gaul. I hope I said that right. So for 2022, what is going to happen with Gaul's career? How is she going to feel? What's going to be going on? So we have the bat. It's actually a very similar experience. Okay, so we have another air element. So again, a heavy emphasis on grounding her thoughts, her ideas, and her desires. What I mean desires is whatever she wants to passionately go for. Doesn't necessarily mean love. I mean like whatever her goals are, whatever she's aspiring to do, that's what she's grounding as well. So the main colors that I see here is red, a little bit of violet, and orange. That's why I'm talking about grounding. For you guys, it may be new to you, but when I use these cards, I always use the colors as a way to connect it to the chakras. So yeah, the red chakra is the root chakra, which talks about being grounded, which talks about, you know, setting your roots and being centered again, being a little bit more conscious of the 3D world and how that works. So I do feel that with this bat spirit, there's this sense that she will, for 2022, she will go through not the bother, but she will go through an experience of like doing some shadow work, if that makes sense. So in the spirit community, shadow work is usually when people are looking within themselves and trying to learn more about themselves, trying to get to know themselves better, trying to embrace the parts that they like about themselves or parts that they don't notice about themselves, even if they're good. You know, I do feel that with the moon card, it's like she's going to be guided to go a little bit deeper with her emotions. She will be having like this glow around her that is helping her navigate through darkness. Also, bats use echolocation to see, so I wouldn't be surprised if there's this sense of, she may be very unique, or when she's going through a very difficult time, she has a very peculiar way of solving those issues or going through that unknown situation. I don't really know how they are as people, and I don't really know what you guys may connect this to in the physical world, but spiritually, that's kind of what I see. The way that she centers herself, maybe when she's a little bit out of her center, out of whack or something, what she does is it feels like she will kind of just retreat a little bit and kind of just be in her own world, or she likes to go deep in trying to solve a problem or an issue, and it feels like she's not afraid of it. It seems like she's very grounded. It seems like she's pretty intuitive, so she doesn't have to quote unquote see the surface to understand what is truly going on, and it feels like she's always motivated and inspired to move forward. So I do feel that she's always ready to take on whatever the world brings at her, if that makes sense. So on to the next person. So we have Ray. So what predictions for Ray in 2022, her career or her as a person? So we have the Vulture. I'm going to take that card. So with the Vulture, we have another air element. Funny. They did have like 3 swords, and right now they have a bunch of air element cards, so that definitely feels that this group is more, they like to talk about what they think and what they believe, but they don't really like to talk about their feelings, so that's something. So with the Vulture, we have this sense of Ray in 2022 is going to be very good at just taking what she gets. Whatever life throws at her, she's just going to learn how to work with it. She's not going to be very picky about trying to get her way or trying to make sure things happen the way that she wanted them. She will just work with what she has and whatever life has to bring at her. So to me, the Vulture is a very resourceful animal. It's one that is like, how they usually show in movies. I learned about this because I talked about it earlier. I said earlier, but in one of my videos, I talked about the Vulture. And then my editor monkey, so my sister, was like, let me do some research and see if what you said is true. And she corrected me. So now I know that vultures don't actually hover over almost dying animals. They don't. They'll attack if they want food. But if there's food available, they'll go for it. And it can be a bit gruesome, I think. But I do feel that with Ray, what this means is that it doesn't matter if life is, throwing the best abundance, beautifulness in the world, or if life is throwing her a bunch of challenges and hardships and obstacles. Ray is very good at just overcoming all of that because she's very resourceful. She knows how to think about things in a different way. And if you see the aura of this Vulture, it's very purple. So that makes me think that Ray is pretty connected with her intuition, so she follows her gut feeling, and if not, she understands in a way what plan Spirit has for her in her own life and in her mission, as whatever she came to do in this lifetime. So the next person that we have is Wonjong. Yeah, Wonjong. So predictions for Wonjong in 2022, either her career or just anything that has to be said. The card that came out is the Thoughts. Finally, a different element. We have the Earth element. So in 2022, she's going to be very grounded. All of this orangey jello makes me think that she's going to be very confident. She's going to feel very optimistic. She's going to be feeling very motivated. I already talked about the orange color, which talks about the sacral chakra, and that one talks about being, it talks about sexual and sensual energy. So I do feel that she's going to be attracting a lot of people despite already doing that. But also I do feel that, she will be very motivated to do what she's inspired to do. And funnily enough, I do feel that all of these things that I just mentioned for her are happening because she feels stable enough to kind of show who she truly is, or she feels comfortable enough to show how she has a sense of humor, because the Thoughts makes me think of like a trickster, or someone that likes to have fun, or someone that likes to joke around, someone that enjoys life. Usually Thoughts are shown that way, like in movies or in animation and stuff like that. So that how a Thoughts is very smart and can use that wit to survive in life and get their way. So I do feel that in 2022 she just has this energy of like attracting a lot of people because she's just showing this very, I don't know how she is as a person or how people see her in the industry, but I do feel that she will be showing this like very fun side in Variety, or she will just be very entertaining, or she will be very smart about how to do things, or she just kind of, with the earth element, it makes me feel like she just kind of has that energy, that feeling. She just does things in such a way that people kind of see this side of her. I don't think she necessarily has to speak funny, or she doesn't have to say funny things, or she doesn't have to do funny things. She's just kind of existing, and that energy it's suited out of her, right? Like she just kind of oozes this energy that is very fun and exciting and confident and all of that. And I do feel that that will just make a lot of people turn their head and look at her because of how she's just having that energy. The next person that we have is Liz. So let's figure out for what predictions are there for Liz's career, or if not, just anything that has to be said for 2022. We have the raccoon. Okay, so the raccoon is an earth element, and the raccoon is surrounded by darkness. This one, since I got this card a lot, I actually kind of do know what it means based on the book. And in this case, when it's in balance, it's talking about someone that is using like this brand to put in front of them as a way to just, it's not fully themselves, but it's the brand, right? So it's kind of like the image that someone's putting out there. When the raccoon is out of balance, it actually talks about someone that is using a mask to hide away who they truly are. It can be because of lack of confidence. It could be because, you know, someone is very private, or someone that's trying to hide something, right? It could be all of those things, right? So it could be something shady, or it could just be someone that just has to grow out of their shell. And I feel that with Liz, it's a little bit of both, right? She's very private, and I also feel that she may be very shy, and it may take her a while to come out of her shell. So with this raccoon energy, I feel that in 2022 I think she will do stuff and say things and all of these things that are still part of her brand rather than who she truly is. I do feel that even though there's a lot of transformations, I do feel that Liz could be of those people that doesn't fully show who she is. So in 2022, people are, I don't think this is going to necessarily bother people. I feel that her fans or the general public will be generally okay with her not showing every aspect of her and not like going full out and be like, I'm this type of person, I think this, I want to do this, I want my future to look like that. I feel she's not necessarily like that, or she could also like, she could express all of that but still have a lot of like privacy with her emotions, or when she has a period of difficulties and challenges. So I do feel that in 2022 she's just gonna continue staying very guarded and keeping things to herself. I don't think she really likes to share too many intimate things about herself. You know, intimacy could be something that she's not very comfortable with, and when I mean intimacy, I don't necessarily mean sex. I mean, you know, just being open to everything that she is and that she believes in and all of that. But with that said, let's go on to the last person, which is Liso. Okay, I just saw the Korean and it's like Iso. So for 2022, we have an air element with a crow. Here, there's a sense, to me, crows symbolize the guidance necessary when you're entering the unknown or entering a new journey and everything's confusing, everything is still kind of like not fully figured out, not fully planned out, and you just kind of have to go with the waves of everything. So with a crow, it feels like Liso is gonna go through a period of just going with the waves, just kind of figuring out life by just experiencing it. I don't think she's going to have a very direct place or direction to go. It's gonna take her a while to know what to do or where to go. I do feel that it's gonna be very confusing, but the crow is kind of guiding her. So again, this like divine plan for her. You know, I think as the youngest one, she just kind of trusts the people that she's surrounded with. I do feel that you know, she might be very good at communicating when she doesn't know what to do, or intuitively how should I try to put it, observe what other people do as a form of guidance without having to like directly ask for help, if that makes sense. So this crow energy tells me that she's going to go through periods of trying to discover herself a bit more. Maybe a lot of unknowns are going to happen. I do feel that for the youngest one, life could be going a little bit too fast for them in their career, if that makes sense. I do feel that they're going to be hit with waves that crash against one and the other, because they're in an environment that will really mess up their way of feeling and thinking. It's not easy to be famous and popular and an idol such a young age, so I do feel that it will be very difficult for both of them to go through opening up and dealing with people. But at least with this crow card, it feels like, as the youngest one, she will get a lot of guidance and a lot of inspiration, and she will definitely grow and overcome issues. With all of those colors right here, you have the heart with the green. There's a bit of purple, which makes me think of the third eye. There's yellow with confidence, and the orange, which we talk about motivation, inspiration, and all of that. So I do feel that she's definitely taken care of and protected in like this little bubble of light, or sphere of light. So let's go on to the last question, which is any advice for IVE in 2022? They're both reversed. So we have the stag spirit, take the lead, reverse, and then we have the white raven spirit with trust in the magic, reverse. So with take the lead, reverse, it kind of feels like the group doesn't need to feel, or like life wants to make sure that the group doesn't feel pressure in moving forward and always having to do stuff and always having to succeed. I do feel with the stag spirit reverse, it's kind of like they can take a break, they can slow down a little bit. They don't have to rush into being on the top of the hill, being on the top of the pyramid. Like, they can take their time. Things may go very quickly, but they don't have to rush into continuing to be successful. They can have ups and downs, stuff like that. And with a white raven spirit reverse, it kind of feels like I'm afraid of saying this because I fear that the group got successful too quickly. So I do fear that they will hit a wall, or expectations will be so high for them that they will feel too much pressure and responsibilities if it doesn't go, quote unquote, the right way according to the expectations that have been put on them. So with a white raven spirit reverse, I feel that the group may hit a bump on the road. I do feel that the group may encounter a challenge. It could be not meeting people's expectations, or not showing, quote unquote, like their receipts of their success with like wins and what people in the K-pop industry usually, well, not K-pop industry, but K-pop fans usually see as a way to brag about their idol. I do fear that maybe in 2022 they may hit an obstacle, or they may hit a wall, if that makes sense. And I do feel that this is a way of saying, just because it's not a punishment if they fail to meet people's expectations, it's part of their journey. And I did get a little bit of a sense of that with Spirit Has a Plan, because I am of the belief that when you ask for abundance, there's lessons that have to be learned, and that doesn't always mean it's going to be easy and a smooth ride. So with these two cards, with Trust in the Magic reverse and Take the Lead reverse, it kind of feels like they don't always have to be on the top, they don't always have to be successful, quote unquote. You can succeed by self-growth and self-development, and I think that they're going to hit a bump in the road for 2022. I just wish that it's not super bad, and I just wish that it's definitely a learning experience. I see things from a different perspective because, of the way that I see life. But for the K-pop world and their young fans, I do fear that you guys will feel like they're a failure. So please don't feel like that. Please don't put that type of pressure on yourselves as fans and as the group as young individuals. But yeah, let's just wish that everything goes out well for them in 2022. And I'll leave that there. I hope you guys liked the video. I'll see you on the next one, whenever that is, however that is. And look forward to the individual readings, which will be coming soon or eventually. And I'm sending you love and healing from my part to you. I said eventually because I'm pretty slow with uploading stuff like this. I take my time, okay? But anyway, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!